Today we're going to make a frozen painkiller slushie using the Ninja SLUSHi machine, but you could use any slushie machine. And this is one of the more interesting slushie recipes because we don't have to change much at all from what is on the back of the Pusser's painkiller mug to get this to work. Generally speaking, we need to add more sugar, more water, and lower the alcohol to get something to slush. But if you put this exact recipe straight in the machine, you'll end up with a drink that's 10% alcohol by volume and 14 to 17 bricks. That's sugar by weight. That should work, but that is also sweeter than I want most of my cocktails to be. The Pusser's painkiller calls for rum, pineapple juice, cream of coconut, and orange juice. I will be using Pusser's rum today, which is the standard, but if you want to know more about the painkiller, its history, and how Pusser's didn't invent this drink, but George and Marie Myrick did using Crucian rum, I have a couple videos that you could watch on that. I'll leave links to them up here and in this episode's description. The juices I'm using today will all be fresh squeezed orange juice, and then fresh pineapple juice that I then froze and have now thawed. But use whatever juice you have on hand. The cream of coconut is the big variable here because of the sugar, as they can range from 50 to 66 bricks, depending on the brand you're using. Since making this drink as is will be 14 to 17% sugar, I want to lower that for my preference. We can do that by adding water, but then we need to balance that out with more rum, and we'd have to kind of go back and forth to figure that out. A solution I often employ is to just make my own cream of coconut from coconut milk and sugar. That's what I do often when I need to make a homemade cream of coconut, but the downside there is then we have a bunch of extra cream of coconut that we may not need. So the easiest solution here is to ditch the cream of coconut entirely and just use coconut milk and sugar. We'll just add those two ingredients separately to our batch instead of mixing them together first. This way we can get the perfect or exact sweetness we want, and you can adjust the sugar to a level that fits your preference more easily. I'm going to make 32 ounces a day, but in this episode's description, I will have a full recipe in ounces and milliliters. I'm going to start with my sugar, and yes, I am going to weigh this. And I encourage anyone out there to get yourself a handy kitchen scale if you want to be making your own Ninja SLUSHi recipes. Next, I'll add the fresh pineapple juice. Followed by the orange juice. Then our coconut milk, and that coconut milk plus that sugar is essentially equaling what a cream of coconut would do here. And finally, I'm going to add my Pusser's rum. I'll set this to the spiked slush setting, but I never just let it run. I always check it every now and then, bump up the temperature if I need to. To make this authentic, I'm going to top this with some freshly grated nutmeg. So there you go. A frozen painkiller slushie. All right, a couple things you may have noticed before I taste this is the coconut milk kind of separated there. Looked a little funny. I'm trying something with my coconut milk. I have this coconut milk I buy from Trader Joe's that separates sometimes. It's hard to get the fat and the liquid back emulsified. So I added something called 210S to that. I'm not advising anyone to do that. I added a very small amount because I was trying to get it to see if it would stay in kind of a homogenized consistency. But once it was in the machine and running, it worked itself in together. Second thing is, I forgot when I was workshopping this recipe before with a different rum that Pusser's is actually 42% ABV. So that actually makes it a little higher proof, which you could try in this machine. And then if you're not getting it to slush, just add water. Always add water. It's your first sort of resort to fix something with this. If you know you have sugar and you know you have alcohol, and if it's not slushing or it's not the right texture, consistency you want, add water. But that's always going to be the thing to help you if it's not slushing, because there's too much alcohol, there's too much sugar, or a combination of both. So let's get a straw and try this. I am not a fan of this recipe as a drink, shaken, served over ice, because it just feels too sweet, not rummy enough. But in a slushy, it is very good. It's very good. Now, it's obviously lacking acidity. If you're looking for that, you can always acid adjust the juices here. You can always use less pineapple juice, more orange juice. You could reconfigure the juices here. But if you are coming to the slushy world from the cocktail world, you have to first recognize the fact that they cannot do the same thing. This and a regular cocktail, they can't accomplish the same things. You have to work in pretty strict parameters here. And in this case, having a recipe that basically you can put directly in here because it has so much juice is a benefit to the drink, because you're not having to put in a bunch of water to dilute it. That's what that juice is for. So if we're always fighting for flavor in a cocktail in a slushy machine, then replacing the water that we would add with juice solves that problem. As someone who doesn't really love painkillers overall, I don't want to go as far to say that I love this. I really like this. I'm accepting it for what it is, as a slushy, boat drink. But if you can wrap your head around that, it tastes delicious. It's the right sweetness. It's the right booziness. It's got great texture. You can taste everything that's in there, all the juices and the coconut and the rum. And it's just really good. So there you have it, a simple and effective painkiller. It's kind of the perfect drink to go into the Ninja SLUSHi machine or whatever slushy machine you are using. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing to this channel if you have not already. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.